read, they will okay. Well, my dear friend, the friends of 10A, 10B, 10F, 10G and 10H, welcome. Well, my dear friend, one of the very first thing that I would like to tell you about, that have you ever heard about a very famous book that is Arabian Night? You might have heard about the story of Alif Laila, the story of Shahrazad and Shahriyar, the fictitious husband, or Shahrazadi was the fictitious wife of Shahriyar, and she used to tell thousands of stories to her husband, so that it was a condition that if she would not tell him the story, he is going to kill her. So here you see, Hariram, what happened? Hariram, what happened? Okay. So here you see, voice is not clear, no problem. Voice is not clear, it will come. Okay. No problem. So, the story necklace is about a woman. You see, you may call that by mistake, by accident. She was born into a family where she doesn't deserve to be born. She was beautiful, elegant, pretty, and was a young lady. Look at the adjective that is used. She was pretty. She was pretty, beautiful, young, and above all, beautiful. Here you see. She was born.
The voice not clear.
She was born into a family as if though in an era of destiny. Destiny is what? It is fate. The central character of the story, Matilda, or you may call Madame Loisel, she was born into a family that was a poor, or you may call middle class family. But she was pretty, young and beautiful. These were the three drawbacks. Actually, these are the pinpoints of the story. And due to this psychology that she had, she thought she was in fact, in a kind of a mental status or mental thought. Mentally, she was thinking that she is born to enjoy all the delicacies of life. As she was beautiful, she dreamt about a very luxurious life like a rich lady. Dear friend, what is the takeaway from this story? The takeaway from the story is that wherever you are born, whatever the situation or the circumstances or the things that is made for you, we should really accept it. We should accept the truth, the fact that we cannot change. Here the story is about that Madame Loisel was not ready to accept the plight or the fate or the destiny that she was born into a middle class family. And that is the cause of her tragedy. That was the cause of her tragedy. Here you see, she had no dowry, no hopes, no means of becoming known, loved, married by a man either rich or distinguished. She wanted to be married with a distinguished or rich person. But why? Because she was pretty, she was beautiful, and she was young. Though she had these three qualities, but the quality that she requires to marry a rich or distinguished person was the richness, the affluence. She was not rich, as she had no dowry, no hopes. Why there was no hope? Because she had no money to get married to a rich or accomplished person. No means how she could be known, as she was born into a simply clerk family, so there was no means to be known. So she allowed herself to marry a petty. Petty means what? A small clerk. In the office of the board education. She was simple, but she was unhappy. Here it is. She was simple, but was unhappy. Why she was unhappy? She was unhappy because she was married to a clerk. She always dreamt about to marry a rich or distinguished person. This was the cause of her unhappiness. Dear friend, dear children, here you see that by your mindset, she has chosen to be unhappy. There was no reason of unhappiness. It was her self-created unhappiness. It was self-created. Why? Because she thought about marrying a rich or distinguished person. Of course, by thinking, you cannot get the thing that you want. You need to act for that. There is a saying, my dear friend, first you deserve, then you desire. Here she doesn't deserve it to be married with a distinguished or rich person. Here, only on account of her beauty, on account of a young age, on account of her personality. Of course, it was not a fairy tale. It was not a tale of a Alif Laila that she was getting a carpet, a magic carpet, and she goes on flying like that. It is reality. Life is not a tale of Arabian Nights where the magic carpets are there and you keep on flying and telling their stories, etc., etc. It is reality, my dear friend. And in reality, she has not accepted the truth, the bare truth, the blatant truth, and the truth that she was not aware about. She was aware. She knows it very well. She knows it very well that she has no dowry, no hopes, no means of becoming known and loved and married. So how? So she was simple, but she was unhappy. How she was unhappy? She was unhappy because of her what? Dreams. Unnecessary dreams. What kind of a dream? It was a daydream. It was a daydream. It was daydream. daydream. Here you see. Dreams may turn into the reality, but it requires some patience. Then you can get it done. She suffered incessantly. She suffered. Here you see the key of her happiness was in her. She was in charge of her unhappiness. Because you see, she was thinking about what she don't have. She was crying for what that she doesn't have. Mostly it's a common fact that 90% of the people cry for what they have but they want. We want many things, but can we get anything? Whatever you want, it is not necessary that you will get it. Somebody may get it, somebody may not get it. Everybody is not equally same. This is the way the world goes. So here you see, she suffered due to her set of mind, feeling herself born for all the delicacies. Why she was suffering? Here you see, she was suffering due to her own set of mind, own mental illness. You see, there is of course you see, you make what kind of, she was in fact some kind of a pandemic of what? Mental illness. She was in some kind of a pandemic situation. She was mentally ill. Her mental health was not fit. Why she was thinking that she is born to enjoy all her delicacies and luxuries? Is it necessary that she will get all the luxuries and the delicacies of the life that she is thinking about? She suffered from the poverty of her apartment. What she was suffering? Suffering from poverty of her apartment, the shabby walls. She was suffering for what? The dress, the house where she was living in. Here you see, she was suffering due to what? Internet problems are very poor, my dear here. I am helpless over here. अरे वेट यार, क्या हाथ उठा के कर रहा हूँ, मैं क्या कर सकता? I am getting problem. Yeah, I am getting problems. Let me see. So here you see. Madam Loisel was suffering. Suffering for what? Suffering from the poverty. She always suffered for what? That she cannot change. She suffered from poverty of her apartment. And the shabby walls. The shabby means dirty walls. She thinks about the shabby, dirty walls of the house that she lives in. She always thinks about a well-maintained apartment, a well-maintained house, a high-class maintained house. Dear friend, by only thinking, we cannot get the dream house. We need to earn those things. The way you think the life is, it is not possible the way you think the life will be. Worn chairs, dirty walls, all these things tortured her and angered. She gets angry. She was tortured. Tortured and troubled by what? Tortured and troubled by what? By the looks of the house, by the chairs, by the walls, by the wall that was ill-maintained. Shabby means what? Ill-maintained wall. Shabby. SHABBY. Ill-maintained. Ill-maintained wall. Shabby chairs, ill-maintained walls. And all these, the ill-maintained house, the dirty chairs, dirty dresses, unfit. She thinks that everything is unfit in her house. And that was the cause of her suffering. And that is why she was tortured and she angered hers. When she seated herself for a dinner opposite of her husband, who uncovered the train with a delightful air. Here you see the husband, Mr. Loisel. He was a loving, caring and faithful husband. Loving, caring and faithful husband. Here you see, in spite of that, he was a simple clerk. But he leaves no stone unturned to make his wife happy. But here you see, he cannot help Madame Loisel to get rid of her illusion. She was in some kind of an illusion, some kind of a dreamy state of her mind. Otherwise, if she would have accepted the very truth of the life that she is a middle class woman, she might have not suffered. But you see, with the beauty, it's very natural. When somebody is beautiful, when somebody is pretty, somebody is gorgeous, I don't know from where they get, but they get some kind of a superiority complex. They feel themselves superior. Only by getting some white skin, their thinking process are largely governed by the superiority. They think themselves as a film stars. Dear friend, life is bitter. Some truths are bitter truths, and she need to swallow these bitter sugar-coated pills that the life is not as beautiful, as good, as vivacious as she was thinking about. Here you see the husband sitting opposite of the dinner table. Oh, the good pot cheese. I know nothing better than that. How beautifully the husband is enjoying the dinner. But here you see Madame Loisel sitting opposite of her loving husband, loving and caring husband. She was thinking about the elegant dinner of a shining silver. She was thinking about taking dinner in a very costly dinner sets. Can she change her fate? No, my dear friend. She cannot. Here you see, only by thinking, she has spoiled the taste of the food. In opposite, the husband was very much caring and loving. How he is enjoying even the simplest food. It is the simplest food that he is enjoying. But here she was not enjoying the food because she was thinking about the dinner set and the delicacies of the dinners. She was thinking about exquisite food, exquisite, special, exquisite food served in a marvelous dishes. Marvelous, exquisite food in a marvelous dishes. She had neither frocks nor jewels, nothing. She loved only those things. She loved jewels. She loves what? Jewels. She loved jewels. Jewels. Frocks. Frocks. Okay? Exquisite foods. Exquisite food. Marvelous dishes. Marvelous dishes. Here you see. What she loves? Jewels, frocks, exquisite foods. Where? Into the marvelous dishes. These were her weaknesses. Here you see, and these were the cause of her suffering. She loved only those things. She loved only those things. What are those things? The jewels, the frocks, the food, and the marvelous dishes. She had a rich friend and a schoolmate at the convent who she didn't like to visit. She suffered so much when she returned. She had a rich friend who is reading in convent, and whenever she visits to that friend, she returns with pain. You may understand why she returns with pain. Might be, there she compares. There what she looked. She wept for the whole day for the despair and the disappointment. Why she was disappointed? She was disappointed for those things that she hadn't. And she was in despair because her friend had all those things. Her friend had jewels, her friend had frocks, her friend had exquisite foods, her friends had marvelous life, extraordinary life. So you may think, when you start comparing yourself, here you see the shortcoming that Madame Loisel had, that she compared herself with her rich friend. Why comparison? If she had something, let it be. One should be satisfied with his own belonging. One evening her husband returned elated. Elated means happy. Elated. Elated means over elated. Happy. Elated, happy. Overjoyed you make a overjoyed. Here you see. Here he said, here is something for you. Here is something for you. She quickly drew out the printed card on which it were written. The Mistress of Public Instructions and Madame George Ramonses asked the honor of Mr. and Madame Loisel Company Monday evening January 18 at the minister's residence. It was an invitation card. Invitation card for what? Here you see, instead of being delighted, she should be happy. Why she should be happy? That she has been invited by the ministers of the public instructions. Why? It was her husband. It was her husband who managed this invitation card. Why? To make her wife happy. But instead of being delighted as her husband hoped, he was in expectation that if I will manage this card and bring my wife to that party, she would be happy. But instead of being happy, she becomes sad. She threw the invitation spitefully, insultingly upon the table, murmuring, "What do you suppose I want that? But my dearie, I thought it would make you happy. You never go out, and this is an occasion, and a fine occasion. Everybody wishes one, and it is very selected. Not many are given to the employee. I am the luckiest employee who have been invited. So you should feel happy. You will see the whole official world there." She looked at him with an irritated eyes. Why she was irritated? She was irritated for all those things. Here you see, she will come on these things. Declared impatiently, "What do you suppose I have to wear? Having no frocks, no jewels. So what she will put on? What she will wear? Why the dress you wear them? What do you think we had to know that? The dress you wear, then we go to the theater. It seems very pretty to me." The dress was liked by husband. Here you see what a caring and consoling husband Mr. Loisel was. What more he could do? Managed his card, managed an invitation only for the sake of her dear wife's happiness. But she was in another world. She is not ready to accept the truth. Rather than she was in illusion, she was in another world. He was silent, stupefied, in dismay at the sight of his wife weeping. He stammered, "What's the matter? What's the matter?" By a violent effort, she had controlled her vexation. She was vexed, she was annoyed, she was angry, and responded in a calm voice, wiping her most moist cheeks. The cheek that was got moisture due to the tears that she was weeping. "Nothing. Only I have no dress on. Consequently, I cannot go to this affair. Give your card to some colleague whose wife is better fitted." Here you see, she rejected. How lovingly, how with the great hope, how with the great expectation, his friend, her poor husband. I may call him poor because you see what a hell she has created for herself. What a hellish situation it was. Imagine the husband condition. Imagine the expectation. He has managed this invitation card to make his dear wife happy, but look at the reaction. It was utterly something nonsense that she has created. And you see the hellish situation, what a hell she had created for herself. She had created the hell for her own thinking process. Here you see, he was grieved but answered, "Let us see, Matilda, how much would your suitable costume cost?" Again, something that would serve for other occasions, something very simple. She reflected for some seconds, thinking of a sum that she could ask for, without bringing with an immediate refusal and frightened exclamations from the economical clerks. Finally, she said in a hesitating voice, "I can't tell exactly, but it seems to me that 400 francs ought to cover it." He turned little pale. Why, madam? Mr. Loisel turned pale? Because he had saved just this sum of 400 francs to buy a gun. That night, he might be able to join some hunting parties the next summer with some friends who went to shoot larks on Sunday. Nevertheless, he answered, "Very well, I will give you 400 francs, but try to have a pretty dress." Here you see the sacrifice that the husband has made. Poor husband became a sacrificial goat. बलि का बकरा बन गया बेचारा. You may call him a sacrificial goat. He sacrificed the hobby. By penny, he saved the 400 to buy the gun so that he could join the shooting adventures. But for the sake of his happiness, for the sake of her wife's happiness, poor husband sacrificed. Now, the dress was purchased. The day of ball approached. The dance, the day, for that the invitation was given. Madame Loisel seemed to sad. Madame Loisel was sad. Why she was sad? It's very clear. She was sad. Madame Loisel was sad, disturbed, anxious. She was sad, disturbed, and anxious. Why she was sad? Why she was sad? She has already got the dress, but she was sad because she had no jewels. She wants some jewelry set, so that she could put on. Her dress was nearly ready. Her dress was ready. Her dress was ready. Her dress was ready. Her husband said to her, "What's?" So here you see, my dear friend, how the hellish situation is being created. Thank you. Next, see the next in the rest of the class.